Later, they sat in Raquel's kitchen sipping cocoa.
Katie, with all that's happened, I didn't get a chance to tell you. I got a letter from my sister Daphne. She's graduating from college this year, and she's coming home for a visit soon. Wait, I'll show you her picture. She's a knockout. This is my sister's high school yearbook from when she graduated. There she is. Daphne Martinez.
Wow, Raquel, she's very beautiful. Cheerleading and homecoming runner-up. She must have been pretty popular.
Katie looked at Daphne's picture for a moment. Then a picture on another page drew her toward it. At first, Katie couldn't believe that it was him. The guy in the yearbook looked so neat, dressed in his yearbook best. But it was the expression in the eyes and mouth that made up her mind. Even before she looked at the name under the picture, she knew what it would be. Heath Granger.
Katie? Are you all right? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I have. Do you know anything about this guy? Heath Granger?
Sure. I know all about him. He's kind of a legend. Nobody's told you the story yet?
No.
Good looking, isn't he? You could see his soul, though. It's probably so ugly you couldn't stand to look at it. He was a horrible person, a monster.
Go on.
Well, it was about 4 years ago, my sister's senior year, when he showed up. Nobody knew where he came from, and no one ever met his family. He lived alone somewhere, I think. At first, everybody liked him. He was extremely charming. He was kind of a rebel, too, and I guess the girls who didn't know any better thought that made him more exciting, more romantic. My sister said he'd always come roaring up to school on a motorcycle. He was so handsome, and lots of girls were after him. What made you ask about him like that? Out of the blue?
Just trust me for now, Raquel, please.
Well, pretty soon the real Heath Granger started to show. Under that thin, phony veneer of charm, Heath was cold and mean. He was like a... What do you call those people that don't think anything they do is wrong?
A psychopath?
Yes, that's what he was like. A psychopath. He only wanted to use people. He didn't really care about them at all. He didn't seem to have any feelings. He used to come over here and hang out with my sister's friends all the time. Until that day.
What day?
I'll never forget it. He was sitting on our back porch. The neighbor's cat had had kittens, and I used to go and look at them every day. One of them got big enough to climb the tree in their yard and jump over the fence. Landed on Heath's back. Of course it must have hurt. The kitten was scared and tried to hold on with its claws. But Heath was so furious. He was like a madman. He grabbed the kitten hard around its neck and kept shaking it and shaking it. We all yelled at him to stop. But it was like he didn't even hear us. Finally, he threw the kitten on the ground and it stopped moving. It was dead. I remember I started crying and my sister made him leave. She never let him come here again. But even though my sister saw through him, her best friend Cindy didn't. Heath went after Cindy right away. Of course, he just wanted her as a trophy, and after he got her, he didn't treat her very nicely.
Were they together very long?
Cindy put up with him for a while, but then she got fed up with the way he kept picking on people who couldn't defend themselves. On the night of the prom, Heath showed up dressed like a slob. Then he picked a fight with Timmy Henson in front of his date and everything. He thought it was a big joke. While Cindy refused to dance with him, she went in by herself and spent the whole evening dancing with another guy, Randy Marks. Heath flew into a rage.
Oh, did he get in a fight with Randy?
No. Randy was a football player. Picking on somebody who could fight back wasn't Heath's style. He spent the night drinking, and the more he drank, the meaner he talked. He said nobody dumped him, and he was going to make Cindy understand that. Even if he had to kill her.
Did he hurt her?
He wanted to. In the early morning, he got on his motorcycle and roared out towards Cindy's house. But he never got there. His motorcycle exploded in flames about a quarter of a mile away. It must have burned for a long time because the body had turned to ashes by the time the accident was discovered.
What happened to Cindy?
Her family moved away from here right after because Cindy kept having such terrible nightmares. She's okay now, though. She and my sister write to each other. Katie, wait. I didn't even remember this until now. Cindy lived in your house.
Raquel, how old was Cindy when she lived in my house?
Oh, well, let's see. She lived there all her life, but when they moved away, she was a junior in high school, like my sister. I think she was 17.
3 nights passed before Heath made another appearance in Katie's dream. Katie was in the garden again, and she sensed his presence immediately. She hid from him behind the rose bushes at the side of the house.
Oh, Katie, where are you? Come out, wherever you are. Gotcha! Hey, somebody might think you aren't glad to see me.
You hurt Jason! What kind of a monster are you?
Well, I'm the kind of a guy who's a monster if you mess with him. I walk tall, play by my own
Oh,
rules.
please. That sounds like a line from a bad movie. What you really are is the kind of guy who wouldn't get caught in a fair fight. Oh, I know who you are. I've seen the yearbook picture.
Well, that wiped the smirk off your face.
You think you're so smart, Katie, but you'll find out you're not. It doesn't matter what you know anyway, 'cause you see, this is what I'm all about.
From under his shirt, Heath took hold of a medallion that hung around his neck. Katie had never noticed it before. On the face of the medal was a growling animal that looked like a cross between a leopard and a panther.
See this? It's just like me, the jungle cat. I'm too slick and too fast and too smooth for you.
Go ahead and gloat, Heath. Then you'll give me some information, something I can use. You always let something slip when you talk about your favorite subject, yourself.
I guess you're right. You're just too smart for me.
I'm glad you realize that, Katie, 'cause this whole thing gonna be a lot easier if you cooperate.
What do you mean?
Well, it'll be just like going to sleep. Only we're gonna exchange places. I'll be the one doing the dreaming, and I'll be able to dream myself up. Then I won't have to stick around this dump. I'll be able to go where I want, and I'll get all the energy I need from you without having to be a prisoner anymore.
But what will happen to me? Will I be dead?
Oh, no, that wouldn't work at all. I'll have to keep you alive. Oh, you'll know you're alive, but they won't. The doctors and nurses, because the little heart and brain machines won't be able to register any life in you. I'll have taken it all for myself. Almost. I'll have to leave you something.
Well, if everyone thinks I'm dead, they'll put me in a coffin and bury me. What if I'm cremated? Then I'll really be dead.
Oh, don't you worry about that. If there's any danger, I'll just let you wake up for a little while. Wow, I'd like to see their faces when you sit up in your coffin in the funeral home. What a hoot. They'll think it's a miracle.
I'm not going to panic. If he scares me so much I can't think, then he's won.
What happened to you, Heath? Why are you here? No one could have survived that motorcycle accident. And though you're not alive, you're not...
Dead? No, I'm not dead. It's hard to explain. Did you ever hear the expression, too mean to die?